By the power of Grayskull, I have the power!
What in the name of Hyrule are you doing?
Hey, princess, I'm here to save you.
What? Who are you? Where's Link?
Come on, man, I'm the Latin Link, huh? Linkino. Huh? You never heard of me? Oh, man, well, anyway, Link hired me to come save you.
Mother.
Fun fact, princessa. He actually told me he's done saving you from this Ganon guy. He thinks there's something going on between you two, huh? And I was like, hey, vato, mira, I bet you there is, man. This wouldn't be the first time, huh? We all seen how it worked out with Bowser and Peach, huh?
That little piece of
Shh, princessa, huh? Save your strength, huh? I'm gonna save you, don't you worry.
Well, you can go home now. I don't need the help of some second-rate hero.
Well, excuse me, princess, okay? But I'll have you know, he hired me from quite a reputable company.
I don't care where he hired you from. I'll just escape myself.
Oh, yeah, huh? Because that worked out so good for your princess friend over there, huh? Looks like she needs a couple tacos in her, man. And listen, okay? Whether you like it or not, I need to rescue you or I don't get paid, huh? I need that paycheck, okay? So listen, you let me figure out how this sword shoots so I can shoot those little chains off you, okay?
You just pointed at the chains.
Oh, yeah, like it's that easy, huh? Okay. Well, you know what? Why don't you let grown folks do grown folks things, okay? I'm gonna do this, okay? Sword of Omens! Give me sight beyond sight!
Amateur.
Oh, royalty, huh, princess? Okay, Ana. Thunder! Thunder! Thunder guts! Hi! Is there an on and off switch or something I'm not seeing?
You just point and shoot. It's not rocket science.
Oh, you think it's that easy, huh? Kind of like a Star Wars gun, huh? Pew, 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 pew. Welcome to Road to Recovery, Episode 3. Now, if you don't know what Road to Recovery is, it's the journey of me getting my game collection back because when I was younger, I lost everything to drug addictions. I would either sell my stuff for drugs or I would go crazy and I would break everything because I suffered from a lot of mental issues. And now, years later, I'm trying to get all those video games back. So, I know it's been a long time coming. A lot of you, every time I stream, every episode, someone leaves a comment, when's the next Road to Recovery? Here it is, guys. And it's my mom's in this, and so it's gonna be very personal. We're gonna get into some very crazy stuff. I'm not gonna touch on the comments from the last video. I'll do that in another video just because I don't want to make this so long, but I love the feedback that we got. Thank you so much for all the encouraging words that you guys gave me, and I promise I'll touch on those in the next episode. But this episode features my mom, guys. She's a beautiful Mexican lady. Be nice in the comment section, okay? That's all I ask. Be respectful, please. We're gonna tell you some amazing stories, and any people out there that were offended by my little skit there, please understand that I'm a Chicano, I'm Mexican born in the United States. My wife's Mexican, my kids are Mexican. You know what I mean? I'm not racist against myself. It's not how it works here, okay? So, anyway, guys, enjoy. And also, I have a special guest, Billy from the Game Chasers, on here. So, enjoy the episode. Thank you so much for watching.
The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past. What can I say about this game that you guys haven't heard a million times already? It's a classic. The story goes like this. Zelda gets captured again by some magician. You gotta go. You get woken up during the nighttime. It's the atmosphere, it's raining, it's beautiful, it's such a great setup. The world is huge, guys. There's a light world, there's a dark world, tons of things to do. And you start off with very little, actually, but as you meet different people, they're going to help you along your journey, giving you things as well as things you're going to find in the dungeons to better help you in this journey, because you're going to need it. Fighting all the enemies that the land has to offer in the dungeons and trying to get through all those crazy puzzles to get to finally the bosses of each dungeon, to get the Triforce, to get the Master Sword, and all that good stuff. You guys know how the story goes, right? And to bring Ganon to his knees. And if you're good, you will see this end screen. So I recently got to check this off of my Road to Recovery list of all the games that I need that I've lost because of my drug addiction. And it was so much fun to play through it again after all these years. And the game seriously still holds up today. Now I'm going to just go right in. I'm not going to show too much of Zelda because you guys all know what it is. But I'm going to go into the stories so you can understand kind of the mindset that I was in. I was very, very sick at this time. Drugs had damaged my brain, and honestly this is one of the key games that helps me get through these dark times. And you guys are going to hear some stories. You guys are going to think I was crazily sick, and you know what, you have every right to think that because I was very disturbed. But thankfully I had video games in my life help me get through those times. You're going to hear some stories, and I'm interested to know in the comment section below what you guys think. And you know, people may judge me after this episode. It's a very revealing episode, so we'll find out. But and then I'm going to bring Billy in the end, and he can kind of share his memories of the game because, you know, Billy's my friend. I like to put my friends in my episodes. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoy this crazy story time. It's going to get crazy. That's all I can say. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Road to Recovery with a special guest, my mom.
Hello.
So, this is where, in this episode, we're going to get a little bit deeper of just kind of how messed up. Actually, I guess it would be, since I start doing drugs around 8 years old, by the time I'm around 15, as it gets really crazy. Things start getting... things get bad. I end up in the hospital. I get diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. I'm in the hospital, and you take me out of the hospital because I was in the hospital because basically I had a lot of internal bleeding, ulcers. Do you remember all that stuff?
Yes.
From the paranoia. From constant paranoia.
Yes.
All the time. So there'll be other episodes that'll tell more of this story. But in this particular story is because I remember they wanted to take me out of the hospital. And you want to tell that joke you played on me? You remember that?
Yes. I wasn't right either, but I did the best that I could. Anyway, I was trying to get help for Joel. He was in the hospital. He had been in there for tests, all kinds of tests.
I've been there for a long time though because I had a Super Nintendo in there. I had my room, kind of like I'd been in the hospital for quite a spell.
Yes, and I went to see him, and the doctors told me that they really wanted him to go away, for me to put him away because he was dangerous. That was their conclusion, was that he was dangerous to us, to himself, and that I should not take him home.
They wanted to lock me up
in a mental home. They wanted to lock you up.
Which I would end up in eventually one day, but...
I couldn't do that. I mean, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is my son. You know, if they don't have any faith in him and all they want to do is lock him up, I can't do that to him. I'm his mother. Someone has to believe in him and trust him. So I said, no, you're not locking him up. I'm going to take him home. And he knew about this. He knew this was going on.
I even remember like sitting in my hospital bed because I didn't have much energy then. But I was just laying in the hospital bed and I could see the doctors and you guys out there and like literally them wanting to take me away. And you out there fighting for me, which was awesome.
Yes. So after he heard all of this, they bring in a wheelchair. They were going to do tests, that's all. But he didn't know that. Anyway, and I knew that he didn't know that. So they put him in the wheelchair, and I'm walking along with him and the doctors, and they get to the elevator, and I look at him, and I put a real sad face on, remember? I put a real sad face on.
I remember.
And I go, bye, son.
You even stepped out of the elevator.
Yes.
And you're like, bye, there's nothing I could do. Like, they're taking me away now. And I'm just like, oh.
But I was just joking. Bad joke. But I was just joking around with him. They didn't take him away.
No. Then she stepped in. She's like, I'm sorry. I was like, oh my goodness. I later got you back.
Yeah, he did.
You remember that?
Yes, you called me from Florida. He was in Florida.
I didn't call you. I had my friends call you.
Somebody called me and told me that he had been in a real bad accident.
I thought they told you I'd been shot or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It was some bad news, and I was devastated.
And I got on the phone. I was like, this is years later. I'm like, sucker. That's for the elevator.
Yeah, this is the way we are. Well, we were.
So, I go back to, I go to your house to live, and they put quite a few rules down, right? No knives in the house.
Yes,
no
no
guns.
weapons.
And the man, my stepdad at the time,
Yes.
he had to move out. Is that correct?
Well, no, he didn't have to move out. But when the doctors told us, you
okay.
have to get all the weapons out of there. You can't have anything that he can hurt himself or you, and especially the stepfather. I guess you had some animosity towards him or something, and they were really fearful that you were going to hurt him. So once he heard that and he knew, he kind of said to me, gave me an ultimatum. You have to choose. I can't live with you and your son. He's so sick. He's going to kill me. So you either choose between me and him, and I loved him, but my son was so sick. I had to stand by him, so I let him make the choice because I could not make that choice. He decided to move out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so he moves out. I'm in this room, which I basically live in for I don't know how long, and we're on an outpatient basis, right?
Yes.
At
White Cloud Mental Care Facility.
Oh yeah, so I'm going in all the time, and they're giving me my drugs, which basically make me sit there and drool on myself all day long.
Yes.
And that's why you say no to drugs, kids, because holy cow.
They can mess you
I
up.
had a really bad acid overdose, is what kind of set me in that route, I think. And so I remember in that room. This is the room where I'm going to play several games, and on the Road to Recovery episodes we'll go back to this room. So during this time I'm in this room, I play a game that I was actually a big fan of the series. I had played 1 and 2, and then I think because of drugs I didn't even play it when it came out. I wasn't even interested, and obviously I was in the hospital and just trying to survive. But Daniel's friend, I think it was Jock, is that his name? Or maybe one of his friends said they had bought a game, and they're younger, so they don't know about this stuff. They bought a game, but for the life of them, they couldn't figure out how to play it. And I said, "What game is it?" And they said, "Well, it's called Zelda." And I said, "Oh, I know all about Zeldas. I've been playing Zeldas for years, right?"
Right.
So I get the Link to the Past, and I play this thing like crazy. I remember I beat it so fast, and I told Daniel's friend, and they couldn't believe it that I had beaten the game so fast. And so I actually loved the game so much I had to go get a copy, and then I just kept playing it. So, but during this time, there's also I would have these crazy episodes where I would wake up underneath a table holding a knife and
Dark episode.
Crazy stuff. Now, there's a story that you tell me. I don't know if you want to share that.
You don't even remember you doing that.
Well, no, because when I would
did.
black out, I would
But
not
you
remember
did it.
stuff. So
Yes.
because of the schizophrenia and other, who knows what else I had going on back then.
Well, this episode took place when we were living in this really rundown.
The crack house is what
We
it's
used to
called.
call it the crack house, but there was no crack in there
Well,
that I knew of.
no, I'm trying to think, because I'm sure there'd been some crack in that house.
It was just
plenty
a
of time.
really rundown, really bad house, but that's all I could afford because I was taking care of all my children by myself at this point because my husband had left because he was afraid of Joel. So one day everybody decides they need to go out. And my daughter had a little baby girl. She wasn't even a year yet. I says to her, leave her here. I says, I'll take care of her. That way you can have a good time. So I and my granddaughter and Joel were the only ones that stayed behind because Joel was paranoid, terrified
left the house.
terrified to go out of the house or anything. He thought someone was after him, someone was trying to kill him. So we stayed at home, and he went upstairs to his little room, like he spent a lot of time. And the granddaughter was asleep. I was in the living room. Then all of a sudden, I heard him coming out, and I thought, well, we're gonna be okay. This is the first time I'm gonna be by myself with him. So, he comes down, I look at him. I knew immediately, you were not okay. His eyes were like lifeless, just black, like shark eyes almost, like there was no life, no joy, nothing in there. I looked at him and I didn't say too much, and he walked into the living room, and I tried to talk to him and see how he was, but he really wasn't responding. At that moment, I thought, oh my God, I made a mistake. I was so afraid of him.
Should have locked him up.
Yes, I did. I'm embarrassed to say that, but that's the truth. I was so afraid. I thought, oh, he's gonna hurt us. I didn't care if he did something to me. It was the granddaughter that I was afraid of, So I'm thinking, what do I do? What do I do? I wanted to get up and run and put a chair on the door, where the baby was sleeping. Like that was gonna help, Not really. I couldn't. At that time, all sorts of thoughts are coming in my head, and I finally decided, no, if I make a negative move here and he's aware of it, he's gonna really get upset, and then he might try to hurt us. He will hurt us. But I thank God that he was just like a zombie. He didn't hurt me, and he didn't hurt my granddaughter. During that, it was like an incident of maybe 6 minutes. Those 6 minutes felt like a lifetime to me because I didn't know what was going to happen to me, and I didn't know what was going to happen to mamas, So I'm thinking during them six minutes, all kinds of thoughts, just, and I'm thinking, oh, the doctors were right. I should have put him away. I should have. But in the end, I know that I did the right thing because look at him now. He's drug free. He's happy. He's a great father, a great husband, and just a super son to me. And he's funny.
Shucks, Mom.
And that's the truth. He's awesome.
But and I never did anything, right? I went in there.
No, you never hurt us, but you really did scare us a lot of the times. Like, remember when you went through that phase in that house again, in his little room? I walked into his little room. He had a TV because he had to play his games. That's the only time that I think he felt safe was when he was playing his games. So I go into the room, and lo and behold, on top of his TV, what do I see on top of his TV? A pyramid. This young man.
Hold on. Before you tell him what you're about to say, because I didn't know this was going to come out. Okay. Listen, I was seriously messed up, guys. You have no idea, like, how messed up I was in my brain. It just wasn't right. So, I'm just preparing the people. What you're about to hear is a little crazy. This is some crazy stuff you're hearing. All right, go ahead. What's on the TV?
I walk into his room. I look on top of the TV, and there's this pyramid. A pyramid of flies that I think he was gluing them.
Yeah, in different positions.
Yes, and some of them were still alive.
Oh my gosh.
I go, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is sick and disgusting. I didn't dare touch it though.
You don't have a fly tattooed on mine.
Is that what that's all about?
It has a lot to do with. Well, here's the thing. What were you gonna say? Are you gonna finish that?
That I didn't want to say anything to you. Again, always fearful. Because we didn't know what would set you off. The slightest things would set you off. A sound would set you right off. A pattern on a wall or on the ceiling would set him right off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it'd take a long time to bring me back. So, no, when I would with the schizophrenia, a lot of times I've had these episodes where
I would actually see flies come in. They weren't real, and they would eat away at my skin. And so and there'd just be hundreds of them. That's why I have a fly tattooed, because I cannot stand flies to this day. I hate flies. So when I was on my medication and there would be a fly in the house, that's public enemy number one. And so I would grab it while it was still alive, and I would glue it and make it suffer for all of the times that I know this is so far out stuff, man. I don't even know if YouTube's ready for this, man. I would glue it in a different position, and I had hundreds of flies.
That's so gross, son.
Yeah, well, I don't even know. That's so...
He's not gross like that anymore, though.
No way. Nothing like that, man. No. I mean, I was sick. I was sick, guys. Yes. I was straight up sick. Very. Drugs made me sick. That's why I fight against drug abuse. That's why I fight against people doing drugs, because, at first it's all fun and recreational, but it can tear your life apart. It can take it away. So, I don't know, man. I have a lot of good memories, which I'm probably going to just do over the gameplay footage, when you're not here, because we're so pressed for time, and I'm actually bringing in Billy from the Game Chasers, because this is one of his favorite games. So I'm just going to pass it over to Billy so he can talk about some of his memories too. And Billy, I'm sorry you're on such a crazy episode.
Prior to Link to the Past, I had never played a Zelda game. I just wasn't interested in the format, I guess. But when Nintendo Power came out and had a feature on Link to the Past, I was very intrigued. It looked amazing. The graphics and stuff really caught my eye. And I made it a point to go rent it when it came out, because I was like, okay, this looks awesome. I need to actually try it for myself. And I rented the game, could not stop playing it. It was nothing like I'd ever played before, because I was pretty much used to just side-scrolling platformers and the occasional sports game and arcade-style game. But this overhead world that you could go and explore, it was new to me. So I got to experience Link to the Past not only as it being an amazing game, but in a new style of game for me. So put those two together, and it was just an experience I'll never forget. When I had to go and finally return the game, man, I was so disappointed that I actually I mowed lawns, saved up some money, and it was, I believe, the first game that I personally bought and didn't get as a gift on my Super Nintendo. Man, whenever I played the game a couple months ago again. I just popped it in and just played. I played all through until I got to Dark World, and it's just the graphics, the sound, especially the sound. It's just like it's a trip back in time for me. The fact that you could play through this game for quite some time, and it looks like you're about to finally get to the end, but yet you realize that you've just been transferred to the Dark World, and it's the entire map in darkness and in destruction, and you essentially have just played through the first half of the game. That right there is an amazing feeling as a gamer, especially as a kid, because you just spent your good hard-earned money on this game, and you realize that it's almost like two games in one. And I was just ecstatic. I was like, and you hear that music, that dun 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 dun, and it's just so moody, and it's the wind's blowing, and it's like, holy crap, this is awesome. Link to the Past, far and away, is not only my favorite Zelda game of all time, I think I would put it as my favorite video game of all time.
That's just a little bit of my Legend of Zelda. This game helped me out, man, a lot. You know, like you said, that's the only time I felt safe is when I was playing these games. And there's a few that were always there for me. So awesome, Mom. Thanks for being on this episode.
It was my pleasure, son.
We'll do more for sure. So, all right, guys, that's it. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Share it with a friend. Let them know that, let people know that you don't have to stay in your addiction.
That's right.
That there is a way out. And even if you've been labeled a paranoid schizophrenic or whatever, through God's help, through people who believe in you too,
Yes.
Stuff like that. There's a brighter side. There's a different day. There's there's a morning.
There's life after drugs. A
Yeah,
better life,
for
actually.
sure. So, all right, guys, that's my timer. Thanks for watching.